100 feet beneath the desert, Egyptologist Dr. Ramadan Hussein and his team are opening the newly discovered burial chamber. For Ramadan, its contents are a golden opportunity to learn more about the mysterious practice of mummification.
We can just have a peek at a really big room with a number of wooden coffins. So we have multiple burials in there. And I could see already a wooden box with a calcite canopic jar that I'm seeing right there.
Canopic jars like this were used to store the organs of the dead as a way of guaranteeing eternal life. And on one of them, Ramadan, an expert in hieroglyphics, spots a name.
Now we had a photograph of the canopic jars, and I could see the name we have here is Didi Bassett. So it's good to find a mummy, it's good to find a coffin, it's good to find a canopic jar. It's much better to be able to put a name on this.
The name Didi Bassett is also significant for another reason. Across the hallway, on the sarcophagus of a priest called Chanimit, is a painted inscription. It describes not only his titles, but also the name of his mother, one Didi Bassett.
It makes you happy as a family reunion here. You get the son and the mother in the same place. And you don't find this very often in archaeology.
Armed with this crucial new information, the team gets ready to enter Didi Bassett's chamber for the first time.
We're setting up some light in here because the room is quite dark. عمار ما تخليهاش مايلة، خليها مستقيمة. لا مستقيمة في الكورنر.
2,500 years of heat and humidity have taken their toll, and the room's contents are extremely fragile. So the first job is to create a carbon copy.
You have seen all the wood inside the chamber. As soon as someone touches it, it will just fall apart and it will fall into dust. So the only possibility to preserve it is to have a digital 3D model.
The team is using a digital imaging technique called photogrammetry. It involves stitching together hundreds of overlapping photographs to create a 3D model.
It's always exciting. It's always exciting to get inside a burial chamber and be the first to explore it.
The project is using technology like this to document every inch of the site, and the scans are revealing that it was much more than just a handful of tombs. In their quest for eternal life, customers like Didi Bassett weren't only buried here, they were also mummified.
One of the key parts of having a good afterlife is to preserve your body, because the Egyptians believed that if your body is preserved and recognizable, your spirit essence can go into it and reanimate it. And mummification was key to that because that made your body well preserved.
From written records, we know that Egyptian embalmers could take as long as 70 days to produce a finished mummy. Much less, though, is known about where mummification took place. Just to the north of K24 is another shaft, leading to an empty chamber. In it, Ramadan has found intriguing evidence that it was used for mummification.
Hey. Hi. Great to meet you. And you.
Yeah.
To test his findings, Ramadan has invited along mummification expert Dr. Stephen Buckley.
We're going to put a climbing harness on for you.
Okay.
So it's just like putting on a pair of pants, really. 1 foot in each leg loop. There we go.
Until now, the only archaeological evidence for mummification has been above ground.
The reality of mummifying a body is quite a challenging one. So you need not only the right materials, but the right environment to achieve that.
If Ramadan is right about the chamber, then it would be the first proof that mummification was also performed underground.
Don't worry, we're here. Almost there. Good.
Yes, good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Compared to the glaring heat above, the atmosphere in the chamber couldn't be more different.
That's what you notice straight away, that it's a lot cooler, and that airflow as well. Very different to up there.
This corridor, this is what brings fresh air and keeps the air moving all the
Yeah.
time inside this place.
That's exactly what you need for successful mummification. Bodies can start to decompose relatively quickly. So in a special space with airflow would have been the perfect place for mummification.
And there's another clue that this air-conditioned chamber might have been used for mummification.
The interesting thing that I've noticed here is that large vessel. First, it's in the corner. Second, there is a wall that's built around it. Third is traces of charcoal burning on the side right here.
I can see that, yeah.
So I'm thinking this is a large incense burner.
I agree with you completely. You need a cool, ventilated space for mummification. That's vital. But you've still then got the biggest killer for mummification, which are insects. So the way to actually deal with them is to burn incense. So the coolness, the ventilation, combined with this as an incense burner, would mean that it would be the perfect environment.
I have one last thing to show you, that this lid cut in the bedrock, it's occupying the entire space of the eastern wall, but the back of it, there's a small channel that runs on the side right here, and then runs on the floor, and you could see it all around.
From studying the contents of canopic jars like D.D. Bastet's, we know that one of the key stages of mummification was the removal of major organs, like the intestines, liver, and lungs. This ensured that the body didn't rot from within.
Yeah, what's interesting about the evisceration, the removal of the internal organs, is if it's done by someone who's very skillful, then they can put their hand in, perhaps even a large hand, into a relatively small incision and pull out one by one all the internal organs, and they all come out as one.
Could these channels on the floor be the final proof that this is where that grisly procedure was performed?
It makes perfect sense to me that this was used to eviscerate the bodies, where you could take the internal organs out and any blood would go down the channels. This, because the space for mummification, evisceration, is absolutely perfect.
It was so amazing to hear that. It's fantastic.
This remarkable chamber is the first evidence of underground mummification ever found in Egypt. It suggests that this was no ordinary funeral home, but a place where the art of mummification was being reinvented. To learn more, though, Ramadan must inspect D.D. Bastet's hidden chamber for the first time.
Archaeology is a field of being a detective on the site. You're collecting information, you're asking questions until you reach a conclusion. And this is what we do.